Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. I am Count Christo and this is the Light in the East campaign. We've almost finished forming Turkey. We have to take just these remaining provinces that we have claims on over here. And just to check, we definitely don't need to own it directly, right? No, it's us or our non-tributary. And then we can do the future of the Ottoman, which I believe turns us into Turkey, which might have different ideas. I don't know, and I'm not going to check because I think it'll be fun to find out by actually firing the event. So that's what we're going to do. Meanwhile, we're burning down Turkey. We've burnt down Kiev. We're going to do this a few times, and we're doing it just because we don't like them. They're allied to Hungary, and we need the money, basically. Meanwhile, a massive urbanization project is underway in Constantinople to attempt to rival the growing capital of France, Paris. Paris right now has 655,000 people living in its urban centers, whereas we have 338. However, I expect we're going to be able to grow faster. Also, the coring project in Egypt is almost complete. Many regions now being fully integrated. The autonomy is coming down. Income is going well up. Life is pretty good right now. This level 2 fort does not require that big of a siege, and there's almost no chance of the enemy rallying an army big enough to actually cause us problems. So let's move. We can actually siege that province right now, so let's do that. It's level 2 fort, so we'll just send in the needed guys. I would really like to be able to full siege central Poland and loot all of this. It would be amazing. We need to take this immediately because innovativeness is still decreasing. Oh, but this one's not going to put us ahead of time, unfortunately. So I'm actually not going to take this. I think we're just going to store up Diplo power like we're storing up admin power until the till we get the Renaissance. Speaking of the Renaissance, it's getting closer. It's spreading to Serbia now. I don't know if it spreads across the coast. I'm really... Oh, actually, we know it doesn't because it's in Bari and it's still not spreading here. Boo. Humbug. Oh, well. This is one of our other urbanization projects, by the way. We're looking forward to getting a trade dockland 2 here because we're trying to work on the communication and thereby improve the autonomy in the Albanian region, which was looking a little nasty because we didn't have a nearby port. So yeah, not taking that, but keeping an eye on wheel-lock muskets just as soon as we can. I don't think there's anything else we need to do right now. We've got things more or less under control. We could promote this guy. That wouldn't be the worst thing. I really thought that said he's a Turkish salami for a second. I just glanced at it, but no, it's Turkish Sunni. That's my bad. We have one in the north. Excellent. So we have 3 guys here, which means we can siege level 1 forts real quick. So let's go do that. That's fine. Can now begin the siege of Warsaw, so let's do that. And you guys can siege up the empty provinces. Good stuff. Loot to be had all round. Burn, pillage, destroy. Lithuania has declared war on their new enemy, Kiev. Sorry, Kiev. Lithuania, by the way, they have a bunch of vassals, but they do not have any allies, so they're probably next on my shit list in terms of looting down and stealing all their wealth. Should be good. The other thing we've been considering recently is the troublesome nature of the transfers from traders downstream, and I think it's very likely that we need to begin a move against the Italians soon, because our wealth is being siphoned off to undeserving Italian traders whose only claim that they think entitles them to our great wealth is that they are downstream of us. And we must show them that this is no reason to just siphon off money in this horrendous fashion. Chat is begging for mercy for Lithuania. Unfortunately for Lithuania, this mercy will not be granted. Lithuania did nothing wrong. They did do something wrong. For a long time, they were aligned with Poland. And Poland was my ally, my most noble ally. And they betrayed me. They broke the alliance for no reason. So Poland is going to pay the price. Sorry, Lithuania, rather. Is going to pay the price for their overlord's transgressions. Is this fair? No. Is this going to happen? Absolutely. You guys can come and siege this one. Good stuff. Okay. I really like this weird Hungarian East Danzig, sorry, East Prussia outpost up here. It's kooky. I like it. I don't think I've ever seen that before. In M&T or vanilla, obviously not in vanilla. Bum, 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 bum. So how much loot are we up to? Should we look at how much loot we have? Oh, I think we should not look. I think we should just wait until the end of the war and then let it be a surprise. That seems more fun. You guys are going here. One of you can head on to Krakow to get that siege started. Oh, this is not enough. Why? I need 5 regiments? Why? I guess because they have a modifier that increases their local. Yeah. Well, we'll have one of them come down here then. These guys can just hold that siege for a second. That's fine. You guys do not need 9 regiments to siege a level 1 fort. Not by a long shot. Let's split this lot off. Ooh, and there's the win on that one. I think 2 gives a level 1 bonus on a level 2 fort. Let's find out. Growth of internal markets. Nice! We're doing this huge urbanization project. Oh, right, this is... I don't know why I thought I said Constantinople. Alexandria gets 10% more tax and stuff for a while. Root out the rot or corruption. We will obviously take the corruption. You need 1 more guy, so I'll send 2 more to keep them topped off. Okay, okay. Local fortification expert discovered. Okay, yeah, cool. I mean, we're going to get a level 2 advisor half off. Hard to say no, especially when it's the same kind of advisor you already have. So no downside. Right, we should definitely cancel our military access with you. That was silly. Left that going for quite a while, costing me some Diplo points. But Diplo points aren't exactly in super low supply right now, so that's not the worst thing in the world. All right, you guys can march in here. You guys can march in here. Good stuff. God, I really want to check how much loot we've taken so far. I'm honestly struggling here. You actually need 4 for level 2, which is honestly nonsense. You lot. Can you get anywhere? Yeah, go here. This needs how many men? 5,000. Good, so we can spare one of these guys to go here. We kept them up to 5, which should be sufficient. Love the E4 soundtrack, man. All right. Next building in Constantinople. Not sure. Poland is no longer a great power. RIP. RIP for Poland. That's funny. We've burnt them down so heinously. They've been kicked out of the Great Power Club. What do we want? Trade efficiency, national tax. I think we'll take the level 2 guy with trade efficiency. That should generate a pretty nice amount of money. He's going to pay for himself, for sure. Yeah, we're losing sieges in the east. It doesn't really matter. Crimeans can take it. What does matter is I've accidentally left these guys suffering attrition this whole time. Let's have them head here and be picked up by boat. Actually head here. Probably faster. We have 10 transports now, so we can move them around fast enough to go and deal with those guys in the east. Should be good. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Still not enough, because we need 5,000. I don't quite have it. So I'll spare one guy from here. One more guy from here, rather. We would like silk, please. So this is the one down here, right? No? Where is this? Kandai? I don't recognize that name. Kandai. Ah, right. That's in Crete. Okay. Okay. Yes. Well, we will do silk. We don't need luxury cloth. We just need more silk. We shall rig the ships in silk. The military coalition against us is fairly substantial. If they declared on us, it would be a setback, but one we could most certainly handle. So I'm not too worried about it. Alright, get these men transported over here. Let's stop in their tracks any silly ideas they have about sieging down my provinces. Or liberating their own. Down to 65,000 manpower. I will take the cloth, of course. 65,000 manpower, obviously not great, but we're taking so much loot. It's worth it. Do it for the loot. It's just level 1 here, right? Yep, so one of you can come out. Also fallen. we'll take this. Do you hope for a fantasy grand strategy game from Paradox? Asks chat. No. I don't. I think that Paradox's games are by far the best when they have real history to pull from, to invent flavor for them. Rather than having to do it themselves. Which is not an insult. It's true of pretty much everybody. One cannon down here. Should be good. So where do we want these guys to land? Probably still here. Yeah. You must dislike Stellaris. I don't dislike it, but I think it's the worst Paradox game. Apart from possibly Victoria 2. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom. That is why, it's exactly why Imperator Rome didn't work as well as many of the other Paradox games. Yes, you have hit the nail on the head. In Imperator Rome, you don't know who almost all the adversaries are. What about March of the Eagles? I have not played March of the Eagles, to be honest. Imperator Rome didn't work very well, in my opinion, because almost always you were fighting people whose names were unpronounceable and you've never heard of. Which is much, much less fun than fighting Poland, Lithuania, Hungary, people you've heard of. A lot of cores right there. That's amazing stuff. No worries, no one has. I mean, some people have. I assume. But yes, not many people, for sure. We are short bodies in this siege. Oh, people begin to leave the coalition against us. That's interesting. You're a very bad... You leaving is a very bad idea. You're like next on my shit list. But, yeah, I think a grand strategy game would suffer in the same way Stellaris suffers, which is you have to kind of relearn who everyone is in each campaign, which seriously damages the ability to easily tell a interesting and dynamic story. Whereas in this, you have some preconceptions and some ideas about how nations work and how rich they were and where they were. That means you don't have to always look at the map. You know, I don't need to look to know where England and France is and have a kind of baseline from which a story can be told about England and France. Whereas it's very difficult. I think that's why mods that incorporate well-established fantasy worlds work better. People are already invested. Yeah, like the Game of Thrones mod for CK2, sorry. I'm really not very interested in Game of Thrones, but that was a really good mod, and it is a really good mod. Because again, you don't have to look around the whole map every game to figure out what's up. You can have an idea of what's going on just by, you know, having read the books or watched the show. We've got more money than we need right now. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of urbanizing over here while Constantinople is busy building that other thing. Let's get the trade dockland going. Well, it really feels like it's slowing down a bit, doesn't it? But we have taken 60... Oh my god. We've taken 60,000 casualties due to attrition and 67,000 total. That is pretty crazy. 60 out of 67 casualties are from attrition. We have... Poles have really not shown their best side in this conflict on the battlefield, have they? That's pretty good. I mean, to be clear, do I want to... Actually, I want to change my answer. Do I want to see a grand strategy game from Paradox? Yes. Because I want to see anything. Anything Paradox releases will be better than most things that most other people release. So, yeah, sure. I would like to see a grand strategy campaign from... a fantasy grand strategy game from Paradox, because maybe it'll be great. But I would rather see lots of other things. I'd rather see EU5. I mean, the thing about like wanting EU5 is that the way Paradox has been releasing games recently, some people have really liked it, and that's awesome, and I'm very happy for them. I haven't. I think Paradox releases have gone... Ahoy has been the last good one, and even Hoy is beginning on the scale of getting simpler and less interesting. I would like to see... I mean, I would like to see that trend reversed. It never will. So I'm not that excited about any Paradox new releases, honestly. Ooh. I can't remember what the odds are that he's true. I will not listen to lies. We will see if it's true this guy's a traitor. He is innocent! Nice. That's really good. Obviously, he has 6 admins, so he's innocent in my eyes, whatever he does. But yeah, I don't really have much excitement about any new Paradox releases because Stellaris, CK3, Imperator all represent a kind of increasing trend towards simplification, which I do not appreciate in my taste in gaming. But clearly many people do, because these games sold extraordinarily well and many people enjoy them. Less so for Imperator, but it still sold extremely well. So, I by no means seek to impose my view, but I hold it. I will be content playing MEIOU and Taxes. Maybe if EU5 comes out, MEIOU and Taxes will get ported to it, and then it'll be on a new engine and run tons better, and that would be really cool. And I'd play that, but in your very biased opinion, Hoi sits at a great sweet spot. Hoi is basically just very different to all the other Paradox Grand Strategy games. It's ooh, nice. Yes, of course, we will add more church influence. Hoi is very different from all the other Paradox Grand Strategy games, and I really enjoy it. But even though it's simple and it's similar rather in many ways, I don't think it's very comparable. Which sounds dumb because like if you were to categorize all games in the universe, like Hoi and EU would be in the same like 0.01%, but it's the main thing about Hoi that Hoi has that the other games don't is really enjoyable moment-to-moment warfare. Whereas none of the other Paradox games have even close to that. Stellaris is by far the worst on that. Stellaris warfare, because it occurs at 2 levels, at the galactic map and at here's something that epitomizes my objection to Stellaris. And it's not like, you know, objection like it's so it shouldn't exist. Just objection so like it's not my kind of thing exactly. When you're in the galaxy map, there is a button at the bottom of the screen at all times which says return to, like, whatever it's called, solar system view. Return to the view where you can see the star and the planets. What do you mean return to solar system view? I'm on that view for literally 1% of my game time. Maybe less than 1% of my game time is spent on that screen. Because almost all the information you want isn't displayed there. It's displayed on the galaxy map. And the screen where you can see the solar system is much prettier, and they've clearly put lots and lots of work into making it really pretty, but it's basically useless. Almost all the time. And I think that kind of gets across to me the problem with, for me, and this is just for me, with Stellaris, which is that they focused on the pretty stuff and the kind of cool looking stuff, as opposed to a lot of the utility stuff, which I'm sitting here playing MEIOU and Taxes, so as you can tell, I like hard numbers. And there's no ledger as well, which is just a sure sign. You know, the ledger is not difficult to implement. A modder did it, Long Game Short, who many of you may know, modded a ledger into Imperator, which also launched without a ledger, which is just ridiculous. Modded it into it in like 3 days. So it was not a complicated thing. They just decided that the kind of people that they were targeting for the game didn't really care about detailed statistics. I care about detailed statistics. So the games are not targeted to me. So I'm not very excited about new Paradox games. Is the somewhat sad truth. But that's okay. There's lots of great games. And the old ones aren't going anywhere. So, you know, it's good stuff. It's like people saying on REU4 at the moment, like whatever the subreddit's called, I can't remember. Like, oh, the Paradox has rendered EU4 unplayable. It's like, no. What are you talking about? I'm playing it. It's going really well. Oh, you were playing on the latest patch? Right, well, that was your mistake. Obviously, they shouldn't have released a broken patch, but to call EU4 unplayable when, you know, 1.3 through 1.30 all still exist and are all still very playable strikes me as somewhat melodramatic. The ledger is admittedly a cheaty feature. You know what else is a cheaty feature? This. I have an accurate map of the entire world. I can click on this province, and I can know exactly how much money is being made here, and how much of it I'm taxing. That is nonsensical. The government now has to put incredible resources into learning things like that, and to learn something like this requires satellites. It's all cheaty. Just lean into it. There was an excellent article by he's a historical professor and blogger about the way EU4 presents history, and he has some things wrong, mostly around whether or not Paradox is attempting to represent accurate history, which they're not, and he kind of acts like they are. But many things in the article are absolutely excellent, and he talks about the fact that one of the main things EU4 does not model is legibility to a state. You've read it? Yeah, it's really good. So the point is, so he talks at length about what you're talking about, basically, which is kind of the quantity of information available to the player is wildly higher than the quantity of information available to the states that existed at the time. But that's a good thing. It makes the games eminently more playable. The games would be boring and dull and really hard as well if you couldn't do that. So I don't agree that it's cheaty. It's certainly no more cheaty than being able to instantly relay orders across the world. I can tell units to move around whenever I want. Ottoman satellite mapping program, yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, if we are the Ottoman state, we can at least agree that we're presumably not here. And if we are here because the king is near the front line or something and he's the one giving the orders, then I shouldn't be able to move this guy around. You know, it's all... And I mean, this is the thing about historical accuracy. Just don't worry about historical accuracy, as far as I'm concerned. Make the game somewhat accurate simulation, and then decide what you have to axe in order to make it a game that you can play and enjoy. That's something that I think a lot of modders and developers, and not really developers because developers tend to get it, but a lot of players seem to miss, is that the accuracy of making a game more accurate and less fun is idiotic. Obviously, it's totally idiotic, because this is not a historical simulator. It's not designed to be a thing that you just sit there and let it simulate history. It's designed to be enjoyable. That would be fun, though. I mean, a realistic EU4 with lots of uncertainty and some features of CK2, such as the court and MEIOU and taxes, population and state, it would be great. It would be great. It will never, well, not it will never, but it won't exist for decades. Because a game of that kind of, like if you were realistically playing as a king with the kind of information a king had, displaying that information to the player and actually having the simulation in the background would be insane. Like, have you played, there's a game called Reigns, which is, it's like you rule a kingdom via Tinder mechanics. It's quite good fun, to be honest. You just swipe right or left on making decisions. Can you imagine a game where what's going on in the game is the M&T style simulation, but the only way you can interact with it is through yes/no questions? And those impact this whole thing. But the only way you can interact with it is you're sitting in your court. You can't see, any kind of remotely detailed maps, and you have to try and work through it. That would be quite something. Like Sort the Count? I have not heard this one. What was the spreadsheet simulator? Space simulator is basically spreadsheet. That seems like too much accuracy. That's Aurora 4X. I think that's quite good fun. It's another one where, see, they actually play with information. What should we build here, by the way, next? I think we should save up for rank 3, honestly. Get another whole 10 base urban gravity. Aurora is great fun. The way Aurora you can still transmit orders immediately to all of your units. On a second by second basis, you can change their orders. Like, whatever, 5 second by 5 second, but you should check it out. It's fun. I will have a look. Let me bookmark this. Thank you. Can we take Miltech yet? No, still losing innovativeness. It sucks. 60% institution penalty. That's one. Is that the last core? No, one more. One more core. Excuse me, stop burning down Crimea. And by the way, our subject will basically never urbanize because they're tribal and they don't like that. We're nearly there on the loot, though. We're going to just finish off this loot, and then we're going to end the episode and the war and the stream. I kind of like I mean, it's too much for some people, obviously. I like it. I like the lack of information. So you have to actually detect enemy ships in order to know they're there. And you have to detect enemy missiles to know they're there. And you have to detect enemy missiles so that you can, you know, shoot them down before they hit you and things like that. It's pretty cool. But it's a lot of work. That's for damn sure. Gonna move these guys around. Oh, they're leaving the coalition against us. Ha 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 ha. Cowards! Cowards. You guys can all head back to Constantinople and we'll reorganize the army from there. How much loot in the bank? I'm not checking. It's gonna be good. Thinking about the amount of pain it would be micromanaging a pre-modern army. It would be pretty incredible. The other thing about it would be like, you know, you'd be like, hey, general, go and manage the Polish campaign. And then he'd go and like do a terrible job. There's nothing you can do about it. U, B, I'm trying to remember the shortcuts. It would be B, that, X, yeah. Yeah, no control over how your units move. Like true realism. God, that would suck. Wow, we saved up a lot of money fast. Give me that Great City Hall. We must have just got a big jizya tax in. Give me that Great City Hall, please. Beautiful stuff. If you could make it multiplayer, that would be a great... I mean, okay. I can't believe this didn't occur to me. You can play a game which is like the EU4 level simulation. Well, kind of, but the EU4 level simulation. I think I will take this because I really don't want him to start with low legitimacy. You kind of can play a game where you have realistic levels of information. And we can't simulate such a game at the moment because it's mind-blowingly complicated. Try and actually like simulate both the complex simulation and the simple interaction with the simulation. But the way you play that game is you play D&D. Because in D&D you can have like realistic levels of information available to you about where you are and who you're fighting and what's going on and all that. But that's a whole other conversation. We're going to end the episode because we're about to piece these fools out. Poland! You shouldn't have accepted the call to arms, you silly goose! End your alliance with Hungary. And I'm going to ban you from allying Lithuania. Give me all your money and your war reps and transfer trade power. No? Well, you can keep a tiny amount of money then. 500 ducats from Poland. Yoink. And we leave behind some devastation in our wake. And then Kiev. You can go to. And we will take all these provinces. Why can't I take these? Oh, that's annoying. Lithuania came in and annexed them. I occupied them even. No worries. And don't return that. And I would like this, which won't cause any kind of coalition issues. I would like war reps. I would like transfer trade power, and I would like all your money. Boom. Boom. Let's see. Noble levies return, and obviously we're grateful for their support. Let's see how much loot we get. Oh, baby. That's 2.5 times our record so far this campaign, which was looting the Hungarians earlier, I believe. 5,336 ducats. Holy crap. I'm real tempted to take 2/5. But I'm not gonna. We're gonna take the 17 stability points. We'll take the 500 ducats. And the rest, remember, you don't lose it. It gets distributed around your country into local wealth. And the local wealth can get stick on stuff. Take all the money. I'm not going to. Or we could. Let's take a 5th, though. 20% chance to lose stability. It'll never happen. Fuck! Oh well. We got 1,000 ducats out of it. Well, extra 500, I guess. And we're going to get that stability back real soon. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh well. That's still amazing. Huge quantities of wealth acquired. I think I'm going to keep storing it up. I think I'm going to build more in Constantinople. Can we build? What are we building here right now? I can't remember. We're building a great city hall. Can we build Mayor's Palace? Requires admin tech 18. Damn, we can't because we're so far behind. Roads? Yeah, roads are probably a good idea. Though I also really want to get Athens continuing to develop. We could also get the, yeah, I think a canal in Athens, because the olive oil produces both quite a lot of food and quite a lot of money. So what about some irrigation canals? Costs 3,000 ducats. What about if I cover it with a bunch of manpower? We're making lots of manpower and we don't need lots of manpower right now. So yes, I will actually give you the manpower. And then we're going to partner with a local estate. And the Greater Nobles are going to spend 1,600 ducats. And then anything else? Can't do those. Okay, we'll pay off 800 with ducats. Nice. Some canals there will be good. And then also, we might want to build better canals here to work on the sugar. We can't get level 2 canals yet. So roads in Cairo, I suppose. Not a very large province. It shouldn't be too expensive. We're going to negotiate to get the locals to cover some. And we can cover some with manpower. And we can pay the rest. And then probably Alexandria will be the next one. Roads, locals, 25%. Manpower, can't. Ducats. Done. Okay. 2 roads and a canal network. Not bad for a burning down of like... Well, we should have checked at the end of the war, actually, because we didn't see how many casualties we inflicted, which is a shame, but oh well. Nice. In the next episode, we will go to war with Karati to take these provinces, and then we'll go to war with Mazaran to take this province, and we might burn down Mazaran and Fars while we're at it. And we will finish annexing Macedonia, which will give us some nice borders in that region. And then after that, honestly, either we take on Hungary, hopefully when France gets distracted, or it's time to begin the burning of Italy. I think it might be time to start annihilating all of Italy. And there's also going to be a huge quantity of road building and stuff in the next episode. But until then, thank you ever so very, very much for watching, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.